special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. I'm the storm in your dream, making wet dreams come true. She know she bad, better than bad. She a gunshot that blew my mind. No distance, I come by my side. Everything is green over here. Everything you want and think about. Now I got your back all the way. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. Me and you, we can be something we want to. When I see the dream we're chasing true, we don't care for me, yeah, yeah. Luckily we're free to be first class, riding casually, yeah, yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and big family. Anything that you do now, everything that you do, everything that you do now. Oh no 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 no. You special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Salutations. How you doing? What's good, my people? This is Tristan Barracks here, the digital storyteller, and I'm super excited to be with you once again for another Livestream Monday. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if I'm too loud or whatever else, because I am a loud person. You know what I mean? I got my laptop here. I got a different setup. I'm really excited about today's show. I'm producing a show, y'all. I'm always excited about this because it's always fun being with everybody and just kind of being with the community and talking with you guys. There's so much things going on. I'm super busy. I'm super thankful that I'm busy. I know there's a lot of people that are not busy. So I just thank God every day for health, strength, and the opportunities. So we're going to jump right into it. I have a special guest on today's Livestream Monday. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things today, mainly how to be in the right rooms without being in the right rooms, which is a really, really great topic and a topic I'm really passionate about. But beyond that, I wanted to bring on one of my close friends, one of the dopest content creators I know, somebody who is doing just doing creating content creating at a high level, and he really pushes me. He inspires me. He's the reason why I'm even like all the stuff that I know and the stuff that I've been doing and creating films, all that sort of stuff. My skills, it started from a conversation with him, with my brother first, because he dragged me into sort of the filmmaking world. But then this gentleman, Will Ramirez, I'm going to bring him on right now. I do want to welcome you again. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Tristan Barracks. I am the digital storyteller. I help to educate people on how to become better storytellers, both by example and by information and teaching. So if you like what you see here, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing and sharing the feed, as well as if you want to donate, that's always dope as well. Let me just add Will right into here right now. How you doing, Will? What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing very, very well.
You gotta stop lying to your audience, man. They're gonna start asking me questions about stuff, and then I'm gonna be like, I don't know, ask Tristan.
Listen, man. First and foremost, I just want to say publicly that I love and appreciate you. You are my brother, literally
Oh,
from
thanks,
another
man.
mother. And I just, again, I am so inspired by your journey and just by the thoughtfulness of who you are. For those of you that don't know much about Will, he's a thinker. He's a poet. He's an artisanal. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but an artisan. His approach to filmmaking and storytelling is something that I'm still trying to grasp. Like, I get so anxious to just tell the story, and I don't always sit in the story, and that's something that I always learn from you. But that being said, we want to celebrate first and foremost some big news, and I'm gonna let you share the news first. I'm not gonna share the news. You share
Oh
the news.
man, it seems so small, like in the grand scheme of like life, but like it's just something that like okay. So the news is I'm just gonna come out and say it, and then I'll just kind of ramble on about it after. Like I hit my 1K on YouTube today, 1,000 subscribers,
Dope, 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 dope,
and
dope.
so now qualifying to get those YouTube checks,
Yes.
make those like $10 a month. That'll
Yeah.
help pay for
Trust me, it's not
Netflix.
much. It's not much, but you know what? It's enough, right? But
You
yeah,
know,
tell
it's
us.
it's 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 a big step for me. Yeah, like
Mm,
it's just like I started YouTube like I started YouTube when we were in college. I did that one video that I filmed
yes.
while I was working, and then I did nothing for 10 years. Um, and then I just kind of like picked it up again after I got married and started traveling a lot more and started doing a
Mm,
lot more like started doing a lot of travel videos.
yep.
But like I just wasn't getting the traction that I wanted. It was kind of like slow. And obviously like if you start off with travel videos, then the expectation is you're gonna keep doing travel videos. And that's not I don't want to be a travel vlogger. I don't want to be a food vlogger. Like why
Yeah.
should anybody listen to me if this is where you should eat? Like I don't know. I didn't go to every restaurant in LA, but so it's like I didn't even want to play in that space, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So and like I've talked about this before, like COVID was kind of like a blessing, in the sense that it sort of forced me and gave me permission to be a lot of things outside of travel
Yeah.
and be able to talk about my interests beyond that. But like, yeah, all that to say, like, I don't know what happened in the YouTube algorithm last week, but like starting, like I had been like I hit 500 subscribers on New Year's Eve, so December 31st, 2020. And based on like the pace that I was going on, I'm like, okay, so if I at this pace, I'm like calculating by June, I should hit the 1,000. And
Yep.
then like as January went on, it was like, okay, maybe beginning of June, maybe end of May. And then something, I don't know what YouTube did last week, but it finally like said, my son, you're ready to join us. It anointed me. And then and then it just like it just hey it just started flying as of like I guess like Thursday. It's
Yeah.
like okay, my goal was to then okay do 100 a month, and then I would hit it by like the end of May,
Yep.
and then I hit 600 like uh exactly a week ago, and then
Wow. And you
a
got
thousand
400.
today,
Yeah.
400 in a week.
And this is the thing that's crazy about YouTube is like I think it's you don't really know what's going to land, and you just as a content creator you kind of create the things that you think will land and stick, but at a certain point the algorithm will work in your favor the longer you're committed to creating. And I think that's what it
Yeah,
comes down to. And a big thing I think for me, at least me observing you, Will, is that you got to a point where you just didn't really care whether or not people were going to like the videos. You just created the videos, went back to, your core, which was creating content that you wanted to create. And I think that
yeah,
that is always a great and honest place to be at. I always kind of struggle with that because it's like, you have, for me, I do tech reviews. I talk about my life. I talk about, my frustrations. I talk about how to connect with people and like more loftier topics around filmmaking. But what I find beneficial is just when I'm creating stuff for myself. Like I did a film called Brown Ballerina, and that was like, that blew up just because it was just something that I wanted to do. I remember a few years ago, my biggest video that has almost 200,000 views was just a video I did because I was tired of people asking me, how do you slow down footage on the A7 Mark III? So I just said, okay, this is how you do slow motion. And then all of a sudden that took off. So it's like, you never really know. But I
yeah.
think as long as you're honest and authentic and you're answering a question or you have a solution to a problem, that is always the best route to go, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like I struggled with that, like just in terms of like the kind of content that I want. And I just like I felt like, when I was doing travel stuff, like every now and then I kind of feel like got glimpses of like my authentic self, if you can
Mhm.
say that. Um, and then I would kind of revert back to like trying to do something that might be searchable or doing
Yeah.
like a product review. And it's just like I just didn't feel good doing it. I didn't
Hmm.
enjoy doing it, and that obviously like translated. It's like I can't do what you do. Like you do when you do like product reviews and stuff like that. Like it's fantastic, and like you have that energy for it, and like your stuff so much. But it's just like I can't do that. Like
Hmm.
I don't go in depth with like the product. I have all this gear, and like I don't really go into like the nitty gritty or like testing them out and things like that.
And
I
you
go to
know,
you and I say, hey, what settings should I put on my camera? And then you tell me, and then I'm good.
but you know what's funny, Will, is that on the flip side, like the way that you're able to vlog and just talk into your camera, I hate doing that. I feel so self-conscious,
Mm,
like when I'm in public with a camera, like me pointing the camera in my face and me talking to the camera, hey, what's up? Da, da, da. Like I
you know,
feel like that's
it's
just so
rough,
not
man.
me. You know what
It's
I mean?
it Yeah, and it's hard to kind of get through that. And to be honest, I don't like doing that too often, but I get
Yeah.
bored of seeing myself sitting in front of the couch behind me and that being my shot,
Yeah.
because that's just the only place I get good light in my apartment. So it's like, all right, and I got to get out. And I think of like the vloggers that I watch, and I get bored when I see people doing what I've been doing in the last few weeks, is just
Hmm.
sitting on my couch and talking. And like I want to see somebody get out there,
Yeah.
especially in like a city like I watch a lot of like New York content, and but like none of these guys are ever out and about other than like the Casey Neistats and like those big guys. Like I want to see the city. I want to see like the vibe, capture some of that life. So I want to show myself when I can be out there and being in the world. It is uncomfortable sometimes, and like
Hmm.
Toronto is like not a place where people are used to seeing vloggers.
Yeah.
When I was in LA, it was like everyone was just like, "Oh, hey man, you're a vlogger. Like, let me tell me what your channel is." Like, people want to be a part of it, and
It's
people want to
totally
see what the
different.
end product
It's
is.
it,
It's
it's totally
completely
different.
different.
It's
They
totally
get it,
different.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
In Toronto, you get, oh, this guy's trying to be a vlogger. You know what I mean? in LA, it's like, oh, you're trying to be a vlogger?
Yeah.
Cool, you know?
And they just get it. It just works. I that's something that I totally agree with you is like, you know, when I tell people, you know, I'm going out on a shoot and I'm gonna do some BTS and do some vlogging, like in the States, anywhere I shoot in the States, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, cool. You're doing a product review. Oh, I want to support blah blah, like you're saying. And then up here, it's kind of like dude, like you're really doing that right now? Yeah, like is that okay? Like I don't, you know, so then you become
Yeah.
self-conscious and then it affects the way you create, right? Because you want to like a part of, you know, what people I guess what some a part of my audience is drawn to was a lot of the vlogging stuff I did where it's just like I was just sitting down just talking, or I was out at a shoot and saying, okay, this is what I'm doing or whatever else. But it's like it's weird. Like you have to kind of be willing to put yourself out there, but then you also have to push past that sort of judgment that you're judging yourself and then others are judging you as well because they don't get what you're
Yeah.
doing either, right? So it's like
It's
that.
very discouraging, man. Like,
Yeah.
like when, like I've been kicked out of stores and like because I got my camera out, and just people just kind of get fed up and be like, no, like, what are you doing? Get out of here! Like, don't like stop shooting. Like, and it's just
Wow.
like I like, and the thing is, like, the more elaborate my kit becomes, the more like people get like suspicious about the camera, right?
Yep.
So if I'm just like pulling out my phone and kind of just like doing like a TikTok or like an Instagram story,
Hmm.
um, then like no big deal, right? But like if I pull out my camera and I'm just like, yo, like I'm trying to show your business using the best equipment that I have and the best light, and like, but no, it's like, all
People
right,
don't know how to
cool,
play
man.
the game. That people don't understand that there's a game to be played, and it's like, yo, it's tit for tat, right? Like, and in the
Yeah.
States, it's all like I remember just going to I went to like some sort of like it was almost like a photography conference type of thing, and like you know there were vendors there, and I was doing vlogging and I was talking to this one guy, you know, who had a company, and he was just like, oh man, you're doing that? Okay, well listen, we sell X product. I can give you a great deal on it. Just do a review on it. Okay, cool. I'll do
Yeah.
that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of exchange of value because people understand one hand washes the other, right? So with that, I want to ask you really quickly before you run, like, what's your next sort of steps? So you know, you have your 1,000 subscribers. First of all, how can we support? What are some of the things that you're looking to do? And I guess that there's three questions in that. Um, do you think that the last video had a lot to do with sort of this uptick because you were so transparent about mental health? You were also so transparent about, you know, your grandfather passing away and the effect on you know of that event on you. Like talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk a little bit about sort of like the goals that you're going to next because you've made your 1,000, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like this isn't like it's not a destination, it's just another beginning, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like the end of like that one phase, and then it's like starting the next, right? Why I try to quantify like what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the last video had a big impact, although I got a lot of like good feedback, and I don't know, like I don't want to say good feedback because it was about like me being in a really crappy place. But it was just about a lot of people who were feeling the same way,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people need to hear other people talk about that and
Mm-hmm.
say that, like, hey, like it's okay to feel like this right now, because things do kind of suck right now depending on where
Yeah.
you are and what you're going through. Um, so like don't feel like you're alone. I think the not feeling like a lot of people were alone, and sometimes like social media is not a great place to open up sometimes, because you could feel something and want to express something, but everything right now is viewed through a political lens, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Um and 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 that just creates an argument that you just don't want to have. But like I don't think that video did it based on the analytics. It's just like I said, YouTube took my documentary and decided it was time to promote it. um and and promoted it did. Like it was
Somebody,
like over the
somebody on at YouTube saw that mental health video and said, "Oh, this bro deserves to get at least a good a good 400
yeah.
subscribers extra."
He,
And he has a dope documentary, and he's giving us
he needs
content for free. All right, I think it's time. I
yeah,
think it's
he
time.
needs a win. He needs a win. Let's give him
He needs a win, man. Homeboy looks broken. Let's put him back together. You know what I mean? Oh man.
Yeah.
So what are some of the goals that you have next on for the channel? What are some of the things you want to do, and how can we support?
I mean, as far as I'll answer the support question first. The first one is obviously just watch the videos. If you like what you see, subscribe. I love comments. I haven't gotten enough comments or questions to really like start creating some sort of interactivity with my audience. I try to respond to as many of them as I can, but then like this weekend it was like a glimpse of like the viral life where just like I can't keep up with the comments, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm sure at some point YouTube will say that's enough, and then I'll go back to being able to respond to every comment. But yeah, those are the ways you can support. Those are probably the best ways. And like I'm not gonna say subscribe, but if you like kind of what I'm about, then go ahead and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you like, and if you know if it speaks to something, then share. Like my goal right now is to not start looking at what like the fact that my audience came in through this one video and then start pandering to that video. You know, it might take me back down a little bit or
Yeah.
slow down the growth, but I want my audience to know that like that one video is not going to define me. It was a very personal story and a very personal documentary. But that's not the subject matter that I'm always talking about. And although all the subjects that I do talk about are going to be in some way personal to me, I think I need to educate them or like make sure that they understand that it's
Yeah.
going to be personal, but maybe not in the way that you liked the way I was personal in that one.
Yeah,
You know,
you just want to be authentic. At the end of the day, it's authenticity, right? Like, and
yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to. Like, you know, today, like, you know, there's going to be videos, and I'm kind of doing my planning. I've been doing my planning for this year in terms of creating videos, and one of the things that I've been looking at, Will, is just like, okay, instead of every video being a gear review or gear related, how about I do one or two per month that's gear review or gear related, and then the other two are just about ideas of whether it's storytelling or how I feel or my thought process or business or something else. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think that it's really, really important for us to be able to maximize all of those things. Let's see what
yeah.
people are saying in the comments and reaction section here. All right, we got CDH live. He's saying what's up here. Hey, nice to see you guys together. Thank you so much. Big up to you.
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys like what you guys are seeing, please definitely give the video a thumbs up. It definitely helps with the channel. And again, if you want to tip us, that's cool too, or give us a super chat. That's great.
Good to see
That being
CDH
said,
live. I missed that guy.
I
I
know,
haven't seen that guy in a minute.
I know.
But like, yeah,
We literally
yeah, man.
haven't seen
Thanks.
each other. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a few years now. But I
Yeah,
hope you're doing well, man. Listen,
yeah.
Will.
Thanks for the comment.
Listen, Will, just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Just wanted to get Will on here and big up my brethren, my boy. Listen, man, he's been grinding. I seen him grinding for literally months and years. We're in like a group message together and we're like pushing each other. The next guy that's up is our boy Bart Aniston. Where I think he's at like 400 subscribers. We're trying to push him, get him to that 1,000 mark. And it makes a difference. Like, you know, again, I'll be transparent. I maybe make 70 to $100 a month. But I mean, it's extra money and it gives you a little bit of fuel for the fire. You know what I mean?
It gives you
In
some
terms of,
motivation, like
yeah,
that it's not in vain, and
exactly.
there's a tangible reward, and then you get that little endorphin hit when you deposit the check, and
you
you know
you
you pay
deposit
for
a
your
check.
Netflix.
It does.
I'm
It does
upgrading.
pay.
I'm getting the 4K Netflix now.
I know. By the way, I think I'm paying for the 4K Netflix. I don't even use 4K Netflix. Anyways, listen, well, thank you so much. Again, how can we follow you, subscribe to you? What's all your social before you leave?
Yeah. So you can start on YouTube. That's the place where I do more of my thought, and I'm not gonna say more frequent because I am on the Twitters quite a bit, but other like it's just YouTube and Twitter right now. If you watch my YouTube channel, you'll see why I'm not on Instagram. But yeah, I'll let everybody discover that one for themselves.
Yeah, I actually am good. I'm working on a video talking about why I took a 4 month hiatus off of social media, specifically Instagram, and I'm thinking of doing that again. I only really use it just as a way of communicating to people on there, but like I don't
Yeah.
really like Instagram at all. Like I loathe it. I actually don't mind Facebook. YouTube, I love YouTube,
Yeah.
but Instagram is just I don't know, poison, poison. Anyways,
Poison.
it's driving me. Anyways, listen, man, Will, again, big ups to you. Thank you so much. For those of you that are watching, my name is Tristan Barracks. I'm the digital storyteller. This is Will Ramirez. He's a fellow digital storyteller and content creator from Toronto. His wife has a dope company called Paper and Coin. Check her out as well. Octavia Ramirez. And I just want you guys to support him. He's doing some really, really great content. And we're gonna jump into our next topic. So thank you so much, Will.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Love to you and your audience, and say what's up to the fam.
All right, peace out, man.
See ya.
All right, dope. Yes. How are all my people doing? Grips on your way, front way, back way. Listen, guys, I am just excited to be with you guys again. I wanted to just bring on Will just so he could talk a little bit about what he's doing and what sort of things he's creating, and also just the exciting, every sort of success, even as small as it is worth celebrating and worth supporting and worth just uplifting people. So again, if you're interested in joining me on the show, maybe having a quick conversation with me on the show, telling me a little bit about, or telling our audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you're from, what kind of digital storyteller you are, please hit me up, DM me, or hit me up at info, or it should be, I should say, info@tristanbarracks.com, and we can go and we can set up and schedule a time to have some conversations. But type into the chat, where are you from? Who are you? Where are you from? So, type in fire if you're enjoying the conversation. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're from in the comments section below, please. We're going to jump into another topic. This next topic is one that's near and dear to me, and that is one of the title topics of today, which is how to be in a room or in the room without being in the room. Now, when we talk about being in a room without being in the room, my apologies for that distraction there, that email coming in. What we're talking about is we're talking about making the right connections and building the right relationships within the industry that we're in, whether it's film, content creation, to be able to allow your name and your likeness and your ideas and your presence to be in rooms where you may not be invited into. I'll give you an example. Some of the greatest opportunities I've ever gotten, whether it's traveling, assignments, to travel to South Africa, or it's been, really large contracts or whatever else, have been through relationships. And those relationships bloomed into opportunities because I built a great connection with somebody, and then they were in a room that I wasn't invited into. And because they knew who I was and they had a belief in my abilities, they submitted my name into the opportunity, and then I was able and afforded that opportunity. And a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people think that, okay, as a business person, as a creative, as a director, as a content creator, you have to always be the hunter. And what I'm telling you is that although, yes, it's great to have your spear, your bow, and your arrow, and whatever else, and you're hunting your clients and you're trying to find the best clients for you and landing the best jobs, that is tremendous. That's great. That's a skill that every one of us should have. But the reality is that you're only one person. And even if you have a team of 10 people, you're only 10 people, right? And what you want to do, or what I would suggest that you think about doing, is creating a brand that goes further than you can. Creating a brand, a name, a reputation that supersedes any place that you can go to physically. And the reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, our reputation and our brand is all we have. Our word is all we have, right? These are these characteristics, or integrity is all we have. These elements of our personhood or our business is all we have in order to be successful in business, to build a legacy business, not just to build an instantaneous business, right? So when I'm talking about being in a room that you're not invited to and getting those opportunities, what I'm really saying is that, how are you extending the web of your connections? Who are you building relationships with? Genuine relationships with, not relationships where it's like, I'm being nice to you and going to your event and supporting your networking, group on Clubhouse because I want to get access to your circles. But who are you actually building genuine connections and relationships with? Who are the people that you are allowing in your sphere of influence that help make you better? Because chances are the people that are in that sphere of influence, the quality people that know more than you, that are smarter than you, that see the world in a different way, that have different connections than you do, are generally the people that can become your evangelists, that will take what you do really, really well, and the vibe and the intentionality and the fun and the effervescence, and will take that to somebody who is looking for you. Somebody that you may not know, somebody that you may not have access to, somebody who has all the resources in the world but doesn't have you as a resource. So my encouragement now, today, this evening, maybe tomorrow, is make a list of some of your best connections, and then make a list of people that they're connected to. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're fostering genuine connections. You're reaching out to those people. You're saying, can you give me feedback? Can you mentor me? Is there a way that I can improve? How can we collaborate together? Some of the best opportunities that I've ever gotten, yes, were out of connections, but were also out of connections that were made through free opportunities. And we talked about this a few weeks ago about doing free work versus paid work. I'm always for paid work, but sometimes there's opportunities that are bigger than just the almighty dollar. I'll give you another example. Just last week, O'Shane was here. My boy O'Shane was here, and he reached out to me about a few weeks ago about helping him, assisting him on a shoot. And it was for a really huge brand, and a huge Canadian brand. And he told me the brand. I wanted to share it with you guys last week. I couldn't because we didn't release the project until Friday. The brand was Roots Canada. And he wanted to hire me as his assistant. Roots didn't want any video or cinematography. O'Shane, we have this sort of pat where it's like, if I get a really cool job, I bring him on. If he gets a really cool job, he brings me on. We have this sort of mantra where I go, you go, where you go, I go. If I'm in a room, you're already in that room. If you're in the room, I'm already in that room. So we don't necessarily need to have the same exact companies coming and clients reaching out to us, because we can actually diversify our attention. And by diversifying our attention to different brands and different sectors of commercial and corporate clients, we can actually gain more business without necessarily overlapping and trying to get the same exact clients. So he gets this opportunity to shoot a campaign for Roots Canada. He kills it. He smashes it. Like, I want to show you. I'll probably show you guys the video, but he smashes these photos. And me, because I have a background in bridal, in creative style shoots from the bridal industry, I'm used to coming in on shoots like that, and not necessarily being the photographer, but being the cinematographer. And as a cinematographer, you have a few different responsibilities. Number one, you have a responsibility to do BTS, right? Behind the scenes footage. But number two, I kind of evolved into creating storylines and telling stories using the model and the models that are there to really kind of market and articulate the idea that the creative director had. So Roots didn't ask me to do this. I just was filming for O'Shane. This was a great opportunity for him. I was doing filming BTS for him for this shoot, and then I decided to edit it up. And then when I was thinking about editing it, I said, you know what? This is a bigger brand. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I reached out to the creative director and I asked him, okay, would you be okay with us sharing this BTS video? It's, I didn't get a lot of clips. I just wanted to do this for O'Shane and ourselves. And he said, yeah, that's cool. We'll take a look at it and we'll probably share it. I was like, share it. I was like, no, you don't have to share it. Like, I just wanted to share it on my feed, because it's cool. And then they watched it. And this was like not even my best work. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Da, da, da. We're going to share it. We're going to share it. They share it. They share the photos. They share the video. The t-shirts sell out in less than 24 hours. And people say, well, that's great, but did you get paid for that video? I didn't get paid for that video. Technically, I may have gotten paid for the video because, I was paid as an assistant, and a part of my assisting was to get BTS for O'Shane. And many people would be like, well, I would never do that because Roots is a big brand. They should be able to pay for you, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But the reality was that the value that I got out of that was all of the relationships, the new circle of relationships that I'm beginning to build, right? Now, the next time Roots calls or another brand calls, am I going to do a video for free? No, that's not my intention. But I saw an opportunity to be able to say, hey, you know what? They don't have any relationship with me. They know O'Shane. They don't know me. I have an opportunity, and O'Shane and I knew that we were going to smash it, but we have an opportunity to really impress and go above and beyond, because we're not working for the check, today's check. We're working for tomorrow and a year from now and a month from now and 12 months from now. We're working for those checks. And I think sometimes as creatives, we get so locked in focusing on, okay, I need to get this check and I need to get paid for this exact thing. And if I don't get paid for that, then, I'm going to be like, oh, hell no. Right? You're going to be like, no. You're going to be like, dope. Oh, or what is it here? There we go. You're going to be like, oh my God, I want to get paid. And I get it. Like, I get it. But sometimes the ends justify the means, because now I have a relationship, or at least the creative director of Roots Canada knows me, right? I know producers from there. I know some people from the marketing department, right? I'm building relationships in a commercial space and in an area that I wasn't familiar with, and I didn't have a lot of relationships. So you have to really start looking at things, and not have to, but I would really suggest to you just to think about how to approach the way you build relationships and connections and the access points. For me, the access point wasn't Roots coming to me and saying, we're going to hire Tristan Barracks to take the photos and video. It was, we're going to hire your colleague. And because I have great relationship with O'Shane and he trusts me, he trusted me enough to go on set and to do my job well and to go above and beyond, to add a little bit of sauce to the whole mix. So that's the first part. Type in the chat. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. If this makes any sense. If it doesn't make sense, just say it doesn't make sense, Tristan. If it makes sense, say it makes sense. Say fire. Say yes, I get it. Okay. That's number one. Number two, the other thing I want to encourage you to do is to really think about, okay, how am I not fostering relationships, but how am I keeping these relationships warm? A lot of us make great connections, but then we don't keep up with those connections, right? The reality is that, relationships can go cold. And when they go cold, it's really hard to warm them back up. So what I would suggest that you do is just touch base with people, check in with people. Hey, how you doing? I know this is, we worked together, a year ago or a month ago or 3 months ago. How's the pandemic doing? How are you doing wherever you are? How is the business going? Just checking in with people, actually being genuinely concerned with how people are. People respond to authenticity and respond to genuineness. And those types of people that are genuine and that are authentic, doesn't matter what industry you're in. We're in the creative industry, but if you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a poet, you're whatever else, people respond positively to authenticity and to being genuine. So anyways, if you like those thoughts, give me a thumbs up. If you love what's going on, just type in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll check here if there's any comments. Perfect. I see there's fire there. Thank you so much, CDH Live. Let me jump into the next area of our topic, or the next topic of our day, which is Final Cut. Final Cut Pro. Who likes Final Cut Pro? Do you guys? This is a question I'm just throwing out to you guys. Do you guys actually use Final Cut Pro? Is Final Cut Pro something that you guys like? You're familiar with? Let me just fix this mic here so it's a little bit more out of the way. How many of you guys actually use Final Cut Pro on a day-to-day basis? I use it every single day, pretty much every single day of my life, and I love Final Cut Pro. So we're gonna jump into Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna just switch to this angle right here. Perfect. Redkin the Ancient says, I'm using it right now. Dope. I love that. So I'm gonna switch over here. Let me know if you guys can see Final Cut Pro. I have it up right now. I have a lot of other windows up because I'm using Ecamm Live, so it's just there's so many things happening right here. So I'm gonna close a couple of these windows before I get going here, just so I can show you guys exactly what's happening. Okay. So we have Final Cut Pro here. When I open up Final Cut Pro, and for those of you that don't know what Final Cut Pro is, it is a video editing program. It is the premier video editing program in my opinion. I really love Final Cut Pro. I've been using it for it has to be now like 15 years now, 16 years. 20 it was 2004. Yeah, so I've been using it over 15 years now. So it's a program that I love, and I love it because, again, it works, it's reliable, and I'm able to create and tell my stories using it. So I'm just going to go over this really quickly, and I'm going to be doing this throughout the weeks and months to come, because I realize that a lot of you don't know my background or don't know, certain things, certain simple things, and you ask me questions later on, and I want to just kind of answer them for you as best as possible. One of the questions is just like how to use Final Cut, right? So I just want to kind of show you the anatomy of Final Cut. And then from there, if you have additional questions, you can put them in the comments section, or we can also talk about taking my mentorship program, where we can actually do one-on-ones and that sort of stuff. Anyways, so in Final Cut Pro, we have the windows open like this, okay? And this whole window is the Final Cut Pro window. It's pretty much split up into about 5 different sections. So the first area here is our projects and libraries area. So the way I like to describe it is there's a hierarchy in Final Cut. You have libraries, you have events, and then you have projects. Okay, a library contains all of your footage, all of your project information, and anything else that has to do with what you're working on within said library. Now, the events are ways for us, think of them as like subfolders. So they're ways for us to organize all of our clips, all of our video clips. So if I want to, first of all, start a new project, I'd go up to File, or start a new library, I should say. I'll go to File, New. Here we go. And I'm going to go to Library. And under New Library, let me know if you guys have questions while I'm doing this. I can go anywhere pretty much and select where I want this library to live. So right now I'm going to go to Desktop, and I'm going to type in Tristan's Mondays. Okay, there. Okay, I'm just going to hit return. So it's not going to allow me to put an apostrophe. So I'm just going to put Tristan Mondays. Oh, is it on iCloud Drive? Okay. Give me a second here. I'll save it to my hard drive right here. Perfect. So I saved my library to my hard drive. And now I have a few different things. I'm just going to close this other untitled library. So I have a few different things here. So I have the name of my library. And then I also have Smart Collections, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then I have this thing here that says 2021, February 8th, which is today's date. This is our events. So this is the very first folder that we can use to bring in our footage. So I'm just going to retitle this video. I'm going to hit on there. press return, and then it'll save the name video. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit on this little arrow here that says import media. So by default, when I import media, it's going to go to the last sort of hard drive that I had plugged in, which was weddings. So that's not there anymore. I'm going to go to Tristan Pro, and anything that is grayed out are elements or files that Final Cut can't read. Anything that is highlighted are pieces of footage or folders or content that I can actually import. So I'm going to, this is my praise and worship trailer. For those of you that haven't seen praise and worship, it's a short film that my colleague O'Shane Howard and I created together. So, Will was saying he's been wanting to watch somebody go through Final Cut Pro for years. So okay, well I'm gonna jump back into here. So I'm gonna bring in a few of these videos here, right? So I have a wedding video, Leroy and Stephanie. I have Flower Girl. I got Day 5. What else do I have here? I'm just going to bring in Brown Ballerina. So I'm just going to bring in a couple different things. Now, before I bring in all of this footage, it's really, really important to understand that there are a few different things that you can do. So you can either, if we go over to the right-hand side of this window, of this importing window, and I'm not going to go through all the options, but I'm going to go through the basic options, okay? We can go to add to an existing event. So we can add to the existing folder that we already created, which is called video, right? Or we can create a new event. So we can create a new folder, and we can call it food, or we can call it, old videos, right? We can call it anything we want. And we can, and Final Cut is smart enough to create a new folder or a new event, and put those videos in there. And what it's doing is it's going to create a copy of okay, if you have questions, just leave them in the comment sections, and I will answer them after I go through the tutorial, okay? So there, in this area here where it says files, what you can do is you have the ability to either make a carbon copy of the files, the video files, and put it into the project folder, or I shouldn't say project folder, my apologies, into the library. So wherever you drag and move the library to, it'll have all of the media contents in there, inside of the footage, or inside of the library. Or what you can do is, if you click on leave files in place, what you're saying is the library is going to look in that same location, my same hard drive called Tristan Pro, and it's going to refer back to the footage on the hard drive. So one is going to copy the footage from the hard drive and put it into my computer hard drive within the library of my Final Cut Pro library, and that footage is going to be a part of the library. It's going to be in that package. Or what I can say is, if it's too much footage, it's like 4K, 6K footage, it's too much for my computer to handle, I can tell Final Cut to keep the library intact, but let the library look for the footage offsite on a hard drive. So in this case, I'm just going to say, you know what, copy the clip into the library. And then I can also put in keywords. Now, keywords and tags in the Mac ecosystem, you can keyword and tag all of your footage and all your clips and all your files. So Final Cut can take those keywords and tags and bring them into Final Cut. So if you labeled something as, slow motion or girl walking or sunset or sunrise, all of those things can be brought in. I'm just going to uncheck that. Then we go to the analyze video section. So this is where Final Cut can analyze the stabilization, the color balance. What else can it do? It can tweak the audio. It can do a few different things. You can create proxy files. So proxy files, simply put, are when you have really, really high resolution video. So I shoot in 6K and I shoot in 4K for my commercial work. And sometimes it just doesn't jive with certain computer systems. So what I'll do is I'll create a smaller size file, and that's a proxy. So that's sort of like a stand-in for the real high resolution files. So it'll allow me, that proxy file will allow me to edit on pretty much any laptop, any Mac laptop, without worrying about it slowing down. Just checking in for those of you that are just checking in and wondering who I am. My name is Tristan Barracks, the digital storyteller, and I am I teach people how to use their computers and use the tools that they have at their disposal, I should say, as storytelling devices. So if you want to learn how to tell stories better, if you want to learn how to edit better, if you want to learn how to be a better content creator, check out the channel, subscribe to the channel, and also let me know if you have any questions or comments. Just put them down below in the chat and I will answer them for you. Also, if you don't mind giving this video a thumbs up, it definitely helps out in terms of the algorithm and allowing people to see the dope content that I'm creating. Anyways, back to Final Cut Pro. So you can do a lot of different things here in terms of creating, like we were saying before, ProRes proxies and all that sort of stuff. And then the analyzing and fixing audio. We kind of talked about that. So I'm going to just press import. Let me just see here. Import selected. So it's going to import the selected clips in 3, 2, and 1. It's importing it, and it's also making copies of them. So this is our status bar here, and it made copies of all the videos here. And I'm just going to show you now. I'm going to show you right over here that we have our copies. Okay, so we have Brown Ballerina. We got
That is you.
Got this wedding film here. Okay. We got Flower Girl. Okay. So we have a couple different things, and we have praise and worship. Okay. Now, so we have our footage in here. How do we get it into a project, Tristan? I'm glad you asked. Wake up on yourself. Oh, good. I'm just crazy sometimes. I got to do what I got to do. So what we want to do if we want to create a project is there's a couple different ways we can do it. We can either go down to the bottom here, which is where our timeline is going to be and where our project is going to be expressed. And we can click on new project. And when we click on new project, now we can type in the name of this project. So I'm just going to say Livestream Monday. Okay. I'm going to hit return. Now, before I hit return, I can tell Final Cut where I want this project to be. So if I want this project to live in the videos folder, then or the videos event or folder, however you want to call it, then I'll put it there. If I want to put it into another event within the same library, then I have to create that event, and then that will allow me to select that. The other thing I can do is I can go to use custom settings. Now under use custom settings, what this allows me to do is it allows me to change the resolution. So if I don't want 1080p, maybe I want 1080i. Maybe I want 720p. Maybe I want standard def. Maybe I want 2K. I want to make a 2K clip. I want to make a 4K, 5K, 8K, etc. Vertical, right? A lot of people are doing vertical videos for Instagram, social, all that sort of stuff. So, or you can do custom, and you can type in a custom palette. So I'm just going to leave this as is and press OK. And now we've created our project. As you can see, Livestream Monday. And now let's drag in a piece of content. So I'm going to drag in my Brown Ballerina content. So I have it inside the timeline. I just literally clicked, drug, and dropped it in. I'm going to uncheck this scanning, like the scrubbing of audio. I hate that. Like when you're scrubbing the audio and the audio is playing. Anyways, let's say, for instance, I didn't want the whole Brown Ballerina clip. I just wanted a selection. I just wanted one selection or a part of it. What I can do is I can take my cursor, and right now, do you see how it's highlighted already? Like it's highlighted in yellow. What I can do is I can click off of it, click on the background, and then if I take my cursor, press and hold, then drag, I can now select a part of that clip, right? A part of that video. So click, hold, drag, or click press down and drag. Okay. And then I can drag, either click and hold and drag down to my timeline, or if you're like me, I like using shortcut keys. And what you can do is you can press the E button for edit, and that'll bring in as much of that selected clip as you like. And if you want to undo that, you hold Command and press Z. All right. Are you guys getting anything out of this? Let me know. Hit me up. Just type in the comment section. Say yes. Say fire. Say I got a question. Whatever else. Right. All right. I'm going to go through a few other things quickly because we are running out of time, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So now we know how to bring a clip in here. That's great. Okay. We got a clip inside here. That's wonderful. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to jump into the right side of things. Actually, before we even get into that area, I want to talk a little bit about the toolbar here. Okay. So a few different things here. So we have our viewer window here. So our viewer window allows us to view our clip, right? Whether our clip is in our timeline and in our project, or we're scrubbing clips within our browsing window. Okay, this is our browsing window. This is where all of our raw footage is. Think of it kind of like your refrigerator. You're a chef, you're a baker, you're cooking, right? Dinner for somebody. You got to get your raw materials, right? The rawer your materials are, the more you need to prep it and chop it up and cut it up and season it up, right? The process of editing is very linear in some ways and very closely knit to cooking. When I cook, not even before I even get to cooking, I got to go shopping. I got to acquire my footage. I got to film the clips. I got to get my stock footage. I got to acquire the content first. Once I acquire the content, I bring it into my kitchen or my refrigerator, which is my browser window. I browse through it. I look through my refrigerator. I see what's in the fridge, and I see what I can cook with. Then I start cutting up the chicken, right? I start cutting it up. I start cutting up the clips and start getting my clips into my timeline, right? Getting it into the pan. Maybe not the pan. Maybe I'm Jamaican and I wash my chicken first, right? Those of you that are West Indian, you'll get this sort of analogy. Right. And washing the chicken is, in my opinion, is just kind of getting a feel for, what you got. Right. And you're putting it into the right spots. Once you have that, then what you want to do is you want to be able to maybe play it back and see how it looks and see what you got. So one way to play it back within the browser window is by selecting where you want the clip to start. Right. And clicking down on it. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking down on the timeline, and when I click down on the timeline, my playhead, that little line, that little yellow line, goes to where I click down. Okay, so I'm just going to click down at my brown ballerina clip, and then I'm going to go to this little button here, which is my play button.
It's about the people looking up to you, and because I feel like, for me, I never had that.
Okay, and then if I press it again, I can stop it. Now, another way of doing it, a shortcut, is by pressing your space bar.
So for me to be able to keep going, it makes a difference and it helps inspire. And
okay, and you press space bar again and it stops. Now, the other things that you can do in this browser window is, if we look at this icon here, this is our speed and time adjusting icon. So this allows us to slow down our clips. This allows us to make our clips faster, to reverse our clips, to choose an automatic speed, rewind, and adjust our video quality. We can also use this little magic wand, and this allows us to do batch color correction or color balance, color matching, so clip to clip color matching. So this allows Final Cut to kind of do this for you. I don't really suggest you use that because it's not really good at it, to be honest with you. And then here is our transformation window, cropping and distortion. So if I click on transformation, I have a little frame here that comes around my video clips, and I can grab any one of these bars or these balls, and it'll allow me to adjust and transform the clip and drag it out and make it smaller or bigger, and put it upside down, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the browser window. Just below it, we have our time, our time. I guess you would call it our time clock or a timeline. I forgot what you call this here. If you can help me here, move the playhead. Okay, so this is just basically telling us our time code of where we are on our timeline. Okay, just below that is telling us our project. It's the title of our project, which is also the title of the actual timeline itself. The other thing that we can take a look at is these little clips below our browser window are other ways of being able to bring in our clips to our timeline. So if I go back to, I don't know, to Lyra and Stephanie, and I highlight a part of their wedding video, and then I click on one of these buttons here, it'll either insert the clip right where the playhead is, it'll insert the clip at the end of all the other edits, or it'll replace or write over the clip that I have. So there, you can play around with those and kind of see the differences. My advice to you though is to learn the shortcut keys as quickly as possible. And the way that you can do that is when you hover over your cursor over these icons, you'll see that Final Cut will actually tell you what the shortcut keys are. So the faster you can learn the shortcut keys, the better you'll be in terms of this. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love there. Now, lastly, I'm going to jump into this section and then I'll wrap up for the night because again, we all have lives, right? So I'm going to jump. Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you so much. From Germany. I think it's Tesla from Germany. You're from Germany, aren't you? Or is it Argentina? Let me know. So in this area here, this is called the inspector window. The inspector window is really where all the magic happens. So it's where you can apply effects. It's where you can do your color correction. It's where you can basically affect change to any one of your clips. So we have 4 different areas. We have, I guess, the compositing and composition tab. We have the color tab. We have the audio tab, and then we have the inspector tab. Okay, or not even the inspector tab because the whole window is the inspector window, but this is the information window. So if you want to know things like, if you want to select a clip and you want to know what resolution the clip is, some of the metadata when it was created, what the audio functionality is, what's the name of the clip. If you want to rename the clip, you can do all those sort of things under the info tab. If you want to adjust the audio of a clip, if you want to make it higher or lower, as you can see in the window, I'm adjusting the audio as I move around the tab there. The other thing that I can do is I can also do what we call equalization. So I can actually go in and I can go into sort of more an in-depth mode of how to shape the audio and shape the audio experience. I'm not going to jump into that today, but I just want to show you that you can also just click on this little magic wand, because this magic wand actually allows Final Cut to do its own rendering and analyzing of the clip, and it'll fix the clip for you, all the audio for you. It doesn't always do a great job, so just keep that in mind. Again, it's an old algorithm that's kind of out of date, and it's not that great. All right, my color window. So this is really cool. This is where I can change my color, so I can add more saturation or less saturation. Let me select this clip here, and then I'm gonna just oversaturate the middle. So as you can see, I can desaturate it and make it into black and white. That's my kids going crazy upstairs. I can change the look and the vibe of all of the colors there. I can also, if I don't like the color board, and a lot of people don't like the color board, we also have 3 other options. So we have color wheel, where we can do the same sort of things with adjusting the color using color wheels, but it gives us a different type of adjusting flexibility. If you don't like color wheel, we can do color curves. So we can actually add, and I really actually like color curves because it allows us to kind of play around and adjust the way our curves and how the shadows and the highlights work together in tandem. Or if you have like a tint on your video. In your videos, a lot of times there's maybe a red or a magenta tint. You can just kind of pull that back a bit and balance out the clip. Maybe there you need to add in a little green for some reason, or you need to take out green. So you can do all those sort of things. And then lastly is the hue and saturation area. And this is a lot more advanced. So I'm not going to go into that, but that's what you can do under the color tab. Under the effects window, or not the effects window, the compositing window, or I should call it the video tab. It's just the video tab, really, guys. There's a few different things we can do. Stabilization, cropping, distortion, transforming, and then we can also apply our effects here. All right, lastly, in this corner here, we have some of our tools here. We have our solo icon button. We have our audio scrubbing. So, right, so as you're scrubbing, you can hear the audio. I can take off my scrubbing, so now I can't, when I move my cursor over the video clip, it doesn't do anything. But I like having the scrubbing and the cursing. This is our snap to. So snapping just means like, if we want, like, let's say for instance, I have this clip up here and I want it to snap to these lines here, or snap to my playhead. Right now I have my snap off. If I press N, or I click on this button here and it's in blue, then it snaps. You see that yellow line that shows up? Now it's snapping, so I know it's aligned. So this is really good for syncing audio that's out of sync, or syncing two clips together, or, you know, manually adjusting certain things. And that's what that's for. This right here gives us, allows us to do our zooming in on the timeline. It allows us to change our thumbnails on the timeline, as well as make this shorter or larger. And then we can also do some higher end adjustments like angles and clip rolls and all that other stuff. And over here, these last two buttons are effects and transitions. And this is something I'll allow you to play with, but again, they're pretty straightforward. So I'll allow you to kind of check that out. All right, I think we're good. Oh, actually, one other thing here. I do want to say that this last little button up at the top right-hand corner allows us to share our movies or our edits. So if we want to share anything, we can share it to DVD. I don't know who still shares to DVD. We can do a master clip or share to some of our Apple devices and other platforms like YouTube, Facebook, etc. All right, so that is it. That's it, man. I really enjoyed this time, spending this time with you guys. I hope you guys learned something. I do want to show you or share this with you guys. Let me see if I share my screen again and I go to this video clip, if you guys can see this video clip. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, shucks. Yeah, hold on for 1 second, guys. I'm just going to deny for a minute. I'm going to open this with QuickTime. I want to show you this video. Can you guys see this video? I hope you guys can see this video. So this is the video that I did for Roots Canada. It's kind of pretty, it's a big deal, I think. Roots Canada, that was a real dope experience. And I'm going to play this for you, and I'll play you both the long version, which this is, and then I'll play you the short version to end off the night. And then if you have any other questions, I'll answer them really quick, and then we'll jump off. All right? In 3, 2, and 1. I think this is the one that wasn't working properly. All right, so there's that one, and then I don't know if these aren't the most updated versions, but it's all good. I just want to kind of show this to you guys, just to show you some of the work that we're working on together as digital storytellers, both myself and O'Shane Howard. Big up to O'Shane Howard. And that's it. That's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Let me just check the questions here really, really quickly. Let me check your questions. Okay. I told a girl I love her and she blocked me. I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this feed and this live stream. If you guys have any other questions, comments, please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. And tell somebody else about Livestream Mondays. It happens every single Monday, 8:30 to 9:30. We went over a little bit today. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope that you did as well. Share this on your streams and let other people know to send those questions into me. All right. Peace out.